I wanted to share some experiments with the responsive design mode in Firefox Developer Tools. So let's go ahead and take a look at that tool today. So this is what it looks like today. You've got this resizable viewport that lets you test your responsive site at different widths and screen sizes. So you can drag that to whatever size you like. And then there's also a menu of some fixed sizes. And you can also save your own presets for different sizes. You can rotate the viewport, take screenshots. So it's actually a very useful tool. Many people have liked it a lot since we've added it several years ago. Um, but really, when I look at this tool today, I sort of see this blank canvas that we can use to really offer up a lot more functionality that people I think will really enjoy. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of those experiments now. So I've gone ahead and shifted the UI a bit. This device menu now has, instead of just fixed screen sizes, it has real device sizes. So you can go through, instead of just these fixed sizes, you can go down and pick something like the iPhone 6, for example. And so that's great to give you the ability to just test at a specific device size if that's the kind of testing you'd like to do. But even more powerful than the device sizes, if you look over here, now we have also this Add Viewport button. So if we go ahead and click that, instead of, so we've now got this additional viewport that we can use. So if we go here and pick, like, let's say a tablet size, so now we can see multiple sizes at once. So this is actually quite nice to adjust, as we're looking through our site and seeing how things function at different sizes, we can see both sizes at once. So and this site is, like many responsive sites, has different elements at different widths. So the header navigation elements are different for the phone size versus the wider tablet size. And you can keep adding viewports as far as you want. So you could keep adding them, and then this whole sort of workspace will just keep scrolling so that you can sort of get to any of the ones that you have open. Let's keep going and add some more things. So I've tweaked the UI again, and you'll notice that each of these viewports now has this little wrench icon. So if I go down and click that on the left viewport, we've now opened this DevTools toolbox that is focused on the left viewport. So you can go through and inspect things and change whatever you would like. You could just delete the header or whatever. Anything you expect to be able to do with the DevTools, you can do, and that's focused on the left viewport. And similarly, you can open the same toolbox focused on the right viewport and target that and do anything you'd like to do there. Inspect the header elements. You can get at each of these things that does not display in the other viewport. So that's all accessible as you would expect it to be. So that's pretty nice, but we can keep going. Let's add some more things. So another thing that appeared is that we now have this local thing here, and what that is local means we're showing something using our local copy of Desktop Firefox. But there's really other things that we could display. So let's change this to a similar size, like let's say the iPhone 6. And then, or maybe to make this less confusing, let's try the Firefox OS Play. And then let's switch to the Firefox OS Simulator. So what this is going to do is it will load up this same site in the Firefox OS Simulator. And so just to talk about what the simulator is, so this is an actual simulator running, the simulators we've had so far have all been things in separate windows. And so this is a real Firefox OS simulator that you can, scroll, you can click, you can interact with it. It's just as you would expect, except it's integrated well into this responsive design mode, and it's resizable. You can scroll, you can do all the things you'd expect to be able to do here. You can inspect the content just like we were before. All the tools work well in that mode. So we have that. We have that available. It works quite nicely. I think it's actually a much more user-friendly way to use the simulator as opposed to having a separate window. A lot of people don't like having to juggle different windows. So you could easily see simulators for the Firefox OS alongside other things in here. We can even do non-Firefox things. So we can, let's size back to like the iPhone 6. We could include an iOS simulator. So the same website loaded up in iOS. Let's switch back out of these simulators though and go back to the desktop Firefox for now. So we've got the two sites or two viewports open on the same site, and then let's maybe go back down to the tablet size. So there's actually even more things that we could be doing here. So let's add one more thing, which is this link icon here, which says synchronize. So what does that mean? Let's just turn it on and see what happens. So we've clicked that. We've got this bar now that says Synchronized Browsing and Inspection is active. So what this means is that we are now going to see sort of this synchronized behavior across the viewports. So if we're scrolling, we'll get a sort of roughly synchronized scrolling behavior there. And also other things like navigation. Let's say if we click a link, both of those viewports will follow you to the new page. Let's see, go back. They'll both go back. So you can continue to scroll, navigate, sort of browse, however you want. Both of them will update to follow you around as you even clicking on things. You can click on things like, let's see, let's size this to the same size for the moment. If we click on a menu items, they will both sort of update and replicate that those events. So all the interaction is really synchronized across those viewports. Now, the other piece of this is not just the browsing, but also the inspection. So let's take a look what that means. So here, so I've opened the toolbox again, but now we are in this sort of synchronized inspection mode. So if you look at what the DevTools are doing here, we're actually like highlighting both viewports at the same time. And if you go down to, say, this hero image, you can actually, let's see, make changes to that, in both viewports at the same time. So this is actually, a really powerful way to work on your site. So now you're able to work on all your screen sizes at once, and you can make tweaks and see how they affect all of the sizes at the same time. And so really, so far I haven't really modified much of the tools, the other tools themselves. The inspector, the style editor, a lot of those things work sort of without changes. But things like the console, like for example, you could imagine wanting to be able to run console commands that could differ between viewports, and so you'd want to have an intelligent way to sort of get that information back that would show you all the answers from each of the viewports, because you could run something that checks the width or something that calculates something that's based on the width. So you'd want to be able to see possibly multiple different replies. So other tools, will require some more enhancement to work in this kind of multi-viewport mode. But anyways, overall, I think this is really sort of a very powerful thing. And as you saw with the simulators, we can offer this synchronized inspection. Actually, let's go back and take a look at that too. This synchronized behavior can also be used with a simulator. So let's go ahead and go back to the simulator and sort of check that out. So we've still got the synchronized scrolling and inspection, and we can, let's see, let's open a toolbox. And all right. We can still do the same things that we were doing before on the simulator. So all of these sort of operations can work well across different devices, simulators, desktop Firefox, and other things like that. And then going forward, I mean, we could extend this to even add real devices. So you could be streaming the screens of real devices into here, and not just not just various simulators, but also device screens. All right, so that's all I wanted to show today, but hopefully you can see that this would be a pretty powerful and useful tool to add to responsive design mode.